Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Viewers, President Xi Jinping has recently concluded his visit to ASEAN region. First, he attended the G-20 meeting. Second, he attended APEC meeting. Third, he held bilateral meetings with number of global leaders, including President Biden, and also he had a wonderful meeting with General Secretary of UN. I think from the visit, we can conclude or deduce 2 or 3 very important messages. Number one, President Xi Jinping carried the message of peace and prosperity. President Xi Jinping said, we need more development, we need peace, but how? When he was talking about the prosperity, he said we need to develop mechanisms which can ensure sustainable development, a development which follow the principles of ecological civilization, a development which has been built on the principle of the green development, a development which can ensure equal access for everybody, and the development must be serve the most dejected people or the most poor people of the society, so that everybody can enjoy the dividend of the development. But for the development, we also need peace and security. How we can achieve peace and security? We need to move towards more equal based interaction. There should be no one who can bully the other country irrespective of his or her development status. We need to create equitable mechanisms at the global level. And simultaneously, he proposed and he mentioned that so how we have achieved this development at the point where we have reached, that is humanity which is benefiting from the dividend of the modern technology and the development. He categorically mentioned the word developed because we were open, we were inclusive, and we also tried to connect with each other. We try to benefit from each other market. But for the future, we have to keep in mind one thing: this openness and this connectivity did not serve everybody. And for that purpose, on that point I will come back on that. Second, and we largely we were able to have a stabilized world. We did not fall into the world war after World War II, and we also remain committed to the security of the people irrespective of their ethnicity. But there are problems now. We also have to take care of those problems. On the basis of the past experience and the current problems are the challenges, President Xi Jinping also asked the world leaders to come to join the hand. Let's redraw our future line, a future line which can serve the purpose of the peace, because at this point of the time we are facing a lot of challenges and the conflict across the world, and there are also challenges are emerging due to non-traditional security threat. So we need to join the hand. Simultaneously, President Xi Jinping said we need to also develop the new mechanism of the development, because in the past we developed but at the cost of the environment, and we are facing, as a result, we are facing the challenge of the climate change. Now we also have to look for the new drivers of the development and economic growth, so we can develop but not at the cost of the environment, and we also want to develop simultaneously we want to mitigate the climate change. So he proposed few fundamental reforms in the global system. I think those reforms are very critical if we have to look at that, because if we look at what he was proposing we need to have to adopt a development model where there should not be the winners and the losers, because in the past we have seen there were losers and there were the winners, also in the term of the human but also in terms of the resources, because as a resources we see the human, we were the winner but the environment was the loser. And if we look at that among the countries, there were some countries which become very rich and there are some countries which are very poor. So we need to reform this system. We need to reform this development model or this economic model. We have to put special focus on those countries or the people who has been left behind. It is also the goal of the Sustainable Development Goal. Nobody should be left behind. But we have to put special focus on those countries which could not get the maximum which could not benefit from the development dividend in the past. But the future we have to design such mechanisms where those countries can also benefit. And simultaneously, President Xi Jinping also mentioned that China is taking some steps like Global Development Initiative. He specifically talked about at G20, the Global Development Initiative has been designed to assist the world to move toward the sustainable world and to achieve the sustainable development goals. And China is trying to create linkages between GDI and SDGs. So we need to join hands. Second, he also spoke about we also need new security model, where he's proposed global security initiative. The model which should the decision making and implementation should be common, coordinated, comprehensive and sustainable security. So all the countries should join a hand to move toward a security system where every country is equally treated. There should not be my interest would be a prime interest. Rather, every country's legal and legitimate their interest should be secure. In this context, I can conclude that President Xi Jinping has given a very important message. We need to move toward a sustainable development model which can also cater the needs of the most poor people, and the countries which could not develop before, they should be given the most chances to develop. And we also need a peaceful world where everybody can benefit from the dividend of the development and the peace. In the end, I just want to conclude one thing very important with a one sentence. We need to understand one thing. Armies can win the war, but they cannot win the peace. The peace can only be won by the development, and development is really needed at this point of the time, and that President Xi Jinping was advocating at G20 and APEC. Thank you.